Hey, paisanos!
And welcome back to more Films Under Constant Critique, where we take a look at films, some good, some bad, and some downright awful. I'm Bongo Baikov, joined by our host, Maverick Drenzaria. This week we're taking a look at a foreign film, Super Mario Bros. Peach Hime Yushutsu Dai Sakusen. I probably butchered that. Roughly translates to Super Mario Brothers, the great mission to rescue Princess Peach.
Like you said, this marks the first foreign film we've done on this podcast.
And for anyone that doesn't know what this is, it is an anime adaptation of Super Mario Brothers made in 1986.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's also our first animated movie.
Yep. It's our first
Unless
animated
you count
movie.
the Star Wars prequels.
So it's our first foreign film. It's our first animated movie. What other first? Oh, it's the first video game based adaptation.
The first movie where I have never heard of anybody who was involved in it.
I actually went through
director.
a few of the cast members, so I know like what one of them was in.
Apparently, one of them is actually a very prolific voice actor.
Really?
The guy that voiced Mario in this apparently
he was
has
in
been in like everything basically.
Yeah,
everything.
I think one of
like
his
Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, one of his bigger roles is Dragon Ball Z. He plays, I think, Yamcha, who's a pretty significant character, especially early on.
Yeah, you're going to be really helpful in this episode because I don't know a whole lot about anime. If I'm being totally honest, I've never watched Dragon Ball Z. Never seen it. The thing is, this movie was apparently not released in America.
Yep, and apparently it's actually super hard to find in Japan, too. Oh, so it did come out in theaters, and then when it was released on VHS, you couldn't buy it. You could only rent it.
So I assume nobody owns it then.
Yeah. It's probably one of those things that Mario's just kind of... one of those things that Nintendo's probably just kind of thrown in the back closet. Like the original, or like the live-action Super Mario Brothers movie.
And is also the second shortest movie we've done a podcast on.
Yep, the first also being Max Headroom. This came out the same year as The Lost Levels, which was a Japanese exclusive game that is stupidly difficult.
Maybe there's a reason those levels were lost then.
There's actually this great quote about the Lost Levels.
I think I have heard a little bit of the history behind it, because like I think the Japanese version of that game was different from the American release.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called The Lost Levels.
Yeah, because they made this... It was called Super Mario Brothers 2 in Japan. But it was basically the game designers... were basically just having fun making really hard levels. And then they sent it to America to get, released to the American audiences. And Howard Phillips, he was like one of the playtesters and one of the heads at Nintendo of America, said this: "As I continued to play, I found that Super Mario Bros. 2 asked me again and again to take a leap of faith, and that each of those leaps resulted in my immediate death. This was not a fun game to play. It was punishment. Undeserved punishment. I put down my controller astonished that Mr. Miyamoto had chosen to design such a painful game."
Yeah, I really struggled to find trivia for this one, but I did find a few tidbits.
If you go to the Wikipedia page, they have 4 references total. Technically, it's tied for the first, but it's like the first movie in general being based off of a video game. It was released on the same day as Running Boy: Star Soldier's Secret, which was also a video game first. I'd love to tell you more about it, but the Wikipedia page for it is entirely in Japanese.
What was it called? Star Soldier?
Yeah, it's Running Boy: Star Soldier's Secret.
And clearly its popularity has eclipsed Mario by this point, so... And like the Max Headroom movie, this is one that I had never heard of before, ever.
And then I brought it to your attention.
And the fact that it existed instantly made me curious as to what the fuck it is.
It is a very different beast from the live-action Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh yeah, no shit, yeah.
Because this one at least tries to be a little more faithful
And I
to the game.
I was glad I went into this one not knowing what to expect, you know.
Yeah.
And also, I think of the movies we've done so far, this is the one most out of my comfort zone too. Because like I mentioned,
It's just farthest removed from what you normally watch.
because I'm not, I'm not exactly steeped in anime or video game knowledge here. So,
Yeah.
although to be fair, I do know quite a bit about Mario. You know, it'd be hard not to.
A lot. I don't know the stats on it, but like most people on Earth know who Mario is.
Granted, most of my information about Mario I probably got from you. So, but
And then I think another thing we should say about this movie is it's definitely a kids movie.
yeah.
So you can really tell that who the target audience is by watching
Well, although when you listen to when you look at the song lyrics for some of the soundtrack.
it.
Okay, this was a collaboration between Grouper Studios, who I've never heard of, and Nintendo, apparently. So Nintendo had a hand in this movie.
Yep.
Which probably explains why it's a little closer to the games than the Mario live-action movie.
Yeah, it didn't go completely off the rails.
And the director of this is Masami Hata, I think is his name.
What else is hold on, let me Masami Hata. I wonder what else he's done.
I looked Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland.
Ooh.
A lot, basically all anime.
Yeah. I'm looking at
there was
Rupert Productions.
There's like some depressing one about sheep in there as well. And also, apparently one of his movies was also an anime short based on Super Mario World called Mario and Yoshi's Adventureland.
Really?
It's on YouTube and it's like 28 minutes. I haven't watched it, but
because I do know that there was at least one other like Mario anime produced that I think had the same voice actors. Yeah, it was the Amada anime. I think it was called like Amada Anime Mario series or something like that.
That's the one, yeah.
Because it's like adaptations of like fairy tales, but with Mario characters.
Yeah, it was like a 3-part series done like 2 years after this to tie into Mario 3. And one of those
I'm pretty sure it has
one of those fairy tales was based on Snow White, apparently.
Really?
Uh-huh.
And I know that the voice actor for Mario is the same. I don't know about anybody else.
And this movie apparently was released to promote the game Super Mario Brothers 2.
Oh, so it probably was. So it probably was for the Japanese Mario 2, which is the Lost Levels, which I talked about a little bit earlier.
Because 1986, you said, is when that game came out. So it came out the same year,
yeah. And there's also a few ads placed throughout the movie. I think I only caught 2 of them, but they were very, very blatant ads.
We'll get to that, but I just want to hear your thoughts on this.
Like I said earlier, it's a kids movie, and so it moves kind of fast, and there's not a lot of substance, but I feel like it's kind of forgivable. Overall, it's nothing spectacular, but it doesn't feel like a train wreck either.
It's like you thought it was like middle of the road, okay, basically.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering if you would get more or less enjoyment out of this than I did, just because you're more of a Mario like expert than I am, but because I actually kind of enjoyed this.
It's kind of a fun thing to watch.
It was strange, but I thought it did a decent enough job adapting the Mario characters.
Yeah.
For what it was.
There's no de-evolution guns.
Yeah, I think it's definitely closer to the games than the Mario movie, or I think it's definitely better than the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. To be honest.
Yeah.
which was kind of corny, if I'm being honest.
It-
I guess I just enjoyed this just as this weird artifact, like
yeah.
just because
Uh,
you didn't have very many like feature length adaptations of video games back then, and for what
yeah.
this
So
was, yeah, it did seem like they were just cramming a bunch of stuff in, and obviously it took a few liberties with the character. Even
yeah.
as a person who's not like a Mario expert, even I knew like what some of the.
Yeah, there are some things where it's like, okay, that's it. That's interesting.
I'm sure there's other stuff you'll probably point out that I didn't even notice, but
Hmm.
anyway, so okay, let's start with recapping this. Okay, so
Hmm.
it opens with Mario Sorry, I had to have that joke in there. And he's playing a video game.
And yeah, so it's already kind of a weird opening, especially when you try to think about it later. But yeah, he's playing a video game and apparently doing very well when
Well, he is
suddenly the
Mario.
screen when suddenly the screen turns off and Peach basically just bursts out of the TV. And one thing that's interesting, very weird sound design when this moment happened. Like when she came out of the TV, it made like a weird like splat noise,
Yeah,
and I'm not quite sure why or what the purpose of that was. But
yeah, who knows?
so she comes out of the TV, screaming, basically like "Save me, Mario!" And then we get King Koopa. And if this all sounds like it's happening really fast, that's because it is happening really fast.
Yeah. Also, that video game he's playing, I only got a little bit of a glimpse of it, but it's like this guy hitting random objects with a baseball bat
Baseball
and
bat.
running around rooftops.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he was playing because like there was like a pencil flying at him at one point.
Was it the precursor to Ninja Baseball Batman or something?
I saw it and I was honestly thinking a little bit of what if Fester's Quest was a side scroller?
Fester's Quest. Oh man.
You know, I actually own that game.
Only reason I've even heard of that is because of AVGN.
Yeah.
This is a huge revelation though, because this is the first time we ever see Mario's house.
Yeah. And apparently he lives in like pseudo Japan.
I don't know.
Like I don't know how else to
I
describe
don't know
where
where
he
he
lives.
And his brother Luigi Mario, he's like bringing him tea and stuff. So but yeah,
and this is one thing. This becomes more apparent the longer it goes on, but the personalities they settle on for Mario and Luigi in this movie are a lot different than the personalities they get later on.
yeah,
There's some overlap, and I understand that Mario and Luigi didn't really have a personality when this was made. So it's just kind of funny to see how they act in this
in
movie.
like the Super Show, if I remember right, Mario's like more like he's like confident, although he's addicted to
Yeah,
food and stuff, and then Luigi's like really cowardly.
yeah.
And then
And those
I don't even know what they were in the live action movie. I guess Mario's older
in the
and
live
Luigi's
action movie, they were
younger.
Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
Yeah, that was a
Those were their
weird casting.
characters.
I feel like that movie was almost made as like a Mario origin story
Yeah,
rather than showing what they are when they are in the video games. Like maybe in the sequel, Luigi would have had a mustache for
I
one.
mean they put quite a bit of sequel bait in at the very end there.
You are never gonna believe this. I do. Gosh.
And so in this movie, Mario is the closest thing I can compare him to actually is Popeye.
Popeye.
Like he just kind of acts like Popeye throughout the movie, just kind of muttering to himself, but still like going forward and trying to save Peach.
Yeah. That kind of
And
is,
part of me
yeah.
actually wonders if that might have been some of Miyamoto's involvement. Because the whole reason that Miyamoto made Mario was because he couldn't get a license to use Popeye for a video
Really?
game that they were making. Yeah. So Donkey Kong was originally going to be, Bluto throwing the barrels and then Popeye trying to make his way up. But when they couldn't get the rights to the characters, Miyamoto created his own original characters.
we'll get more into Luigi's personality later,
Yeah.
but that is interesting though.
And so Mario kind of tries to protect Peach as Bowser comes through, but Bowser essentially just clobbers Mario into the ground, takes Peach, and then hops back into the
Also,
TV.
I noticed in this they don't refer to Bowser as Bowser; they refer to him as
Yep.
Koopa, King Koopa.
He wasn't called Bowser until like the 90s. He was called King Koopa up to that point.
Also, it's
But
okay.
some,
It's been a while since I've played any of the Mario video games, but
yeah.
I don't seem to recall this ever happening in any of them. I don't know if that's just me, but is there a
Oh,
Mario
you know,
game where Mario is just playing a video game and then Peach gets pulled into the TV by Bowser?
not really, no.
I also like how after he pulls her into the TV, the TV reads "Game Over."
Yeah. And after she gets pulled back into the TV, or I guess while all that's happening, she leaves behind a necklace that Mario just picks up.
Yeah, the emerald, yeah. And this is also another thing. They're like treating this like the first time they've met, too,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is interesting.
This is definitely supposed to be also like an origin story. Like how Mario first got to the Mushroom Kingdom and things like that.
Seems like every Mario movie seems to do that. Also, a minor point, but Luigi, when he's wearing the pajamas and holding the candle, it kind of makes him look like Ebenezer Scrooge a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And honestly, it fits with Luigi's character.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he's obsessed with like money and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And then
And
we get
so
the opening credits with a song called like Doki Doki Do It or something.
yeah, it's Doki Doki Do It. And it just shows up every now and again throughout the movie.
Fantastic theme song, by the way. Uh, the soundtrack I actually thought was kind of catchy,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
And actually, just briefly speaking of the music, I do really like the kind of orchestral arrangements they do of like the different themes throughout the movie.
they include a lot of the music from the games and like
Yeah.
a lot of sound effects too. I noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like it all fits pretty well, which is definitely nice.
But anyway, so Mario, he's still depressed about Peach getting sucked in the TV, and apparently Mario
Yeah.
and Luigi work at a store. And
Yeah, at a
did you see what
grocery
the name of the
store.
store was? Did you see
Grocery.
you saw what the name of the store was? It just said
Yeah.
grocery store.
Yeah.
And this is a weird looking grocery store. It's not very big for one thing, and they just sell
Yeah.
cakes there for some reason.
Yeah, ingredients for cakes and pies.
This old woman comes in, and Mario just gives her a bunch of items, you know, just random items.
It was like a mop, a bucket, and then there was like boots.
And she like says, "You expect me to make a cake out of this?" You know, because she wants. There was another interesting choice here. So okay, so they usually play plumbers, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be plumbers.
But they work at a grocery store. And another thing, Luigi and his costume.
Okay, so this is actually something I wanted to talk about a little bit.
Okay.
In the early days, their colors were a bit strange. So, the Mario and Luigi we know today, they both wear blue overalls, and then Mario wears a red shirt and a red hat, and Luigi wears a green shirt and a green hat. Back in the day, Mario actually wore red overalls, a blue shirt, and a red hat. That eventually got switched, and Luigi had something similar where it was like green overalls and a white shirt that he wore with a white hat. But when Mario Brothers, the arcade game, came out in 1983, it got ported to a bunch of different consoles. So, like there was an Atari version, one for like the Commodore 64, I think. So all these different versions, and none of them like were consistent with Luigi's color, like how Luigi was colored. But a lot of them included him either wearing yellow or wearing blue, which makes me think that's where they got the color scheme for this one.
Because he's wearing blue in this instead of green.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting choice.
He's got blue overalls, a blue hat, and then a yellow shirt.
But yeah, that was a little detail that was kind of like, what?
Yeah, his colors are a little all over the place.
And I don't remember exactly what happens here, but they end up finding a gem, which is a twin to that other gem.
Yeah.
Or it's like a twin to another gem, and it leads to the Treasure Kingdom. So it just, and then we get a scene of just that.
There's like a dog that like breaks in
That's right,
to
yeah.
the grocery store, steals the necklace, and then Mario runs off after it,
That's a
and
weird
Luigi
looking
realizes
dog too. It's like this.
that's
It's like this.
that's another thing I wanted to mention. There is this enemy type. They first started showing up in Super Mario World, which was 19 in the year 1990, so 4 years after this, called Wigglers. They actually look a little bit like the dog in this movie
Are
does.
they those caterpillar things?
Yeah.
Because I remember,
Yeah.
I remembered watching this and then thinking the dog looked sort of like a caterpillar. So I guess they came up with the idea a little bit early then. Or
Yeah.
maybe they saw
Well, that
the
actually happens with
movie
the
and then took inspiration from it.
that actually happens with a few things throughout the movie, which I'll talk about when we get to those parts.
Again,
So,
that's you coming in
the
handy
weird-
because you're more knowledgeable about the games than I am. And I also noticed they referred to Bowser as King of the Metal Kingdom.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was up with that.
Usually it's called King
So-
of the Koopa, but whatever.
Yeah.
So basically, the dog ends up stealing the jewel. They chase
Yeah.
after the dog as the soundtrack is playing.
Before that, Luigi figures out that this place is gonna have a lot of treasure, and so he packs like a shovel and a pickaxe along.
Yep. Apparently,
'Cause-
Luigi is a greedy bastard in this movie.
Yeah, his personality, like, there's a bit of the cowardice, but it's mostly greed.
He really
Which-
just, yeah, he spends most of this thing digging, if I remember right.
Yeah. And one thing I find funny about that, he has the yellow shirt and, like, blue overalls. It's a bit like Wario
Oh
almost.
my god, you're right. Wario, yep. Maybe that's where they got the idea for Wario.
Well, not only that, but in the Mario Brothers Super Show, there's an episode where they think back to plumber school, and then there's this weird yellow and purple character right there, and everyone's like, huh,
That's Wario.
that looks like Wario.
And then over to the
And-
side, there's the one wearing purple. That could be Waluigi.
Yeah, not quite tall enough to be Waluigi. The light green one is closer.
Well, this is when they
In
were
body
kids, so they go down in some pipes. You see some trippy visuals, and then we get a
And-
scene of. That's basically how this thing flows. It is so random.
And while they're, flying through that area, it honestly reminded me of the live action movie. Like when Bob Hoskins falls through the wall into the Mushroom Kingdom.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, very different visuals, but it's a similar feeling thing.
And basically they fall through that, and they end up meeting, I don't know what his actual character's name is, but I'm just gonna call him Gandalf the White, because that's what he looks like.
I just called him the Wizard.
I just called him Gandalf the White because he looks like Gandalf the White.
He's there to basically give an exposition dump.
Yeah, they're in the Mushroom Kingdom now, and then they also just start singing about they're gonna be rich, basically. So I guess
that was honestly a pretty funny scene.
I guess they're both greedy bastards then, if that's the case. And meanwhile, the Mushroom Kingdom is being attacked.
Yep.
Their inhabitants are being changed into bricks and plants. And guess
Yep.
who the only two that can save them are?
Mario and Luigi.
Oh, you don't say.
And actually, that little plot point where King Koopa's turning all the toads into bricks, that's actually part of the instruction manual to Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, really?
So that's technically accurate to the game.
What about turning them into plants? Is that accurate?
No, that one's a bit weird. That one didn't happen.
They must have recycled that for Troll 2 or something. Oh my god! Okay, so Koopa kidnapped Princess Peach, and they're getting married. Apparently, he's marrying Princess Peach on
On
Friday the
Friday the
13th.
13th. That feels like such a weird detail to throw in there.
You know what this means? It means Koopa is Jason Voorhees. That'd be a weird crossover.
And then, I don't know which version you watched, but I have a comment on the subtitles of the one that I watched.
Okay.
Basically, the wizard says that they have to collect a super mushroom, fire flower, and superstar.
Oh my god, yep. This was in mine. They call him the Triforce.
Yes, the Triforce is this holy object from the Legend of Zelda series.
I'm not even like a video game like expert or anything, but even I noticed that. I was like,
I saw that and I was like, hold on a second. And I think that's just a weirdness of whoever translated the movie.
Okay, when did that game come out, by the way?
The original Zelda?
Yeah.
Came out February 21st, 1986.
Okay, so just a little bit before this then.
Yeah.
That's a very strange, like...
Yeah. And I do think it is whoever translated it put that detail in there.
Maybe, who knows?
But
that just that made me laugh so hard, though, that Mario has to... Basically, the whole point is Mario has to find the Triforce. Yeah, which... there were a few minor things. One was... there's like one part where Mario wears a sombrero.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. He gets a sombrero and guns out of nowhere.
He's like shooting guns like he's Pancho Villa or something. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
I feel like those would have been very helpful.
And there was one line I thought was funny, where Gandalf the White tells them they'll have to cross oceans and mountains, and Mario says, it'd sure be nice if there was some airline around here. And of course, Luigi, he's asking if there's monetary compensation. And Gandalf informs him there's gold coins scattered everywhere, so he's gonna have no problem finding money.
Yeah.
Greedy bastard.
And so the next kind of part of this movie, it's more like a compilation of just smaller stories. And it just follows Mario, Luigi, and the dog trying to collect the 3 pieces of the Triforce.
Yeah. In really
and one thing that I felt
backgrounds. There's like one background I have to admit. It was right after they left.
I think I know which one you're talking
like
about.
Purple checkered ground at one point, and then it also looks like there's there's monoliths flying around.
Yeah. Speaking of the monolith scene, you know how close those monoliths look, like, to the viewer? Like how they look, pretty close up. If you watch carefully, the mountains are actually in front of those.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that and it was a little bit distracting, but...
Oh, they're probably tripping on mushrooms or something, so it distorts things. And the soundtrack's playing again.
Yeah.
It's a different song, though. I didn't know what... I think it's Super Bokuro was the name of it, but anyway. And they walk into the sunset. They have a campfire. And of course, Luigi's complaining about all the food they don't have.
Yeah, and he sees that Mario's dreaming about food and gets very jealous.
I was going to mention this. He smashes Mario's dream bubble with a shovel and says, "How dare you steal my dreams from me?"
It's pretty well delivered. I like that joke. It's a good one.
Yeah, there were some funny lines here and there.
And then I don't know if you got this vibe too, but actually throughout this part, it honestly felt like a fairy tale almost. Because when they're going throughout, it's like you have these 2 brothers come across an obstacle that they usually somehow find a way to create themselves, and then they solve it and move on.
And even before that, you have a princess and you have like a wizard and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
Gandalf the White. I'm sorry, he looks like Gandalf the White, does he not?
He does.
Um, and there's some Goombas that show up.
And in this, the Goombas are almost like tricksters?
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe them. So they basically just show up, cause some minor problems, leave, and come back later.
But what happens here is that they show them to some mushrooms.
Yep.
And Luigi's
and they're
like crying because they're crying mushrooms, apparently.
Yeah, there's laughing mushrooms, crying mushrooms, and angry mushrooms.
And a Koopa shows up and carries Mario over to a nest. And in order to get them not to eat Luigi, he pretends that Luigi is poisoned and bites him. Which, this was the point where I wrote, what the hell am I watching?
Honestly, thinking about that a little bit, it feels like the part in The Hobbit where Bilbo tries to convince the trolls that the dwarves have like parasites.
Maybe this whole thing, maybe they were just trying to rip off Lord of the Rings or something. Yeah.
And also, just a quick question. So it's obviously it's a paratrooper, which is like, a flying Koopa.
Yeah.
But its children are birds?
Yeah.
Human-sized birds?
Some very weird inbreeding going on there.
And while they're in like this,
they have to like climb this really tall mountain. There was one line in here I thought was really, really good where Mario says, in times when descent is impossible, there is but one solution. Ascending is your only choice. I thought that was a good one. So they climb up there, and that's where they find the mushroom. The first part of the Triforce.
It's like stuck inside of a crystal.
Yeah, that's right. Like some coins come out, which Luigi catches, of course. The greedy bastard. It's hard to comment on this movie because you're just like, then some other weird thing happens, you know?
That might just be one of the problems with trying to talk about a kid's movie.
Maybe, yeah. Up next, we're gonna try to do, what's some other weird...
Teletubbies.
Teletubbies
marathon.
Good luck trying to do a podcast on Teletubbies. But they fall, and Luigi's coins turn into these mushroom people.
Yeah, they turn into toads.
And one of them is named Toadette.
Which is actually very interesting.
Is that an established character?
It was eventually. I believe it was like a while. I think it was Mario Kart Double Dash. Which came out in 2003.
Oh, wow.
Was the first game to have Toadette.
It's a long time to wait.
Yeah.
And they call him Sir Mario. Give him the mushroom. And they again walk as the soundtrack plays. That happens a lot.
Every time they finish a challenge, you get a montage of them walking to the soundtrack.
It's like a load screen, almost.
And then, was this where the first ad happened?
I don't remember, but...
Because I think it is. They're walking, and like Luigi hits a brick, and a bunch of coins come out. And then Mario hits the next brick over, and a bunch of ramen cups come out. And it's like Mario brand ramen.
That's right. They advertised Mario brand ramen in this several times, in fact.
Yeah.
There was another instance of it which was even more gratuitous. So.
It was incredibly gratuitous.
Which I wonder, like, there's no way they still make that. Is like
No. It was like a limited edition thing that was like packaged.
I'm gonna laugh if somebody out there still has like an unopened brand of Mario
there
ramen.
Probably are people. I want to see.
Maybe it'll be on the next episode of like Brad Tries or something.
No, I'm just finding the people that sold a copy of Super Mario Brothers sealed for $2 million.
I want to see a picture of this ramen, by the way. I don't remember what it was called, but
didn't they just call it Mario Ramen?
Yeah. So they walk as the soundtrack's playing, and I think there were some bullet bills here too. I think.
Yeah, just kind of randomly, they had bullet bills firing at him, and then Mario just turns one around and blows up the bullet bill blaster.
Yeah. And also Mario grows huge at one point.
Yeah. He uses the super mushroom to grow giant.
Yep. And then we move on.
And so they end up running into the Goombas again.
Yeah.
Who are like, hey, which way do you want to go? There's some cool gardens over there.
Yeah. There's like, they ask
Uh,
where east is.
yeah, they're like, there's many roads to the east.
Or maybe they said west, who knows? And they decided to go down the garden path.
Which is full of piranha plants.
The garden path, which of course Chauncey Gardner would appreciate that choice. And yeah, there's piranha plants. And they try taking a nap before getting attacked by the piranha plants.
They very quickly get out of the piranha plant patch and end up encountering a Lakitu.
It seems like this whole thing is just, and then they just encounter something and get attacked.
That is just kind of the flow.
Jugamu's the cloud guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That guy ends up attacking them.
And so he throws like these spiny shells at them, which at first just kind of stay in a ball form, but then he uses a very complex cloud machine to cause it to like rain and then produce sunlight. I think there was another step in there, like wind or something.
And there are a few funny lines here I wanted to highlight. One was after he admits he tried killing them with the plants. I think Mario said, "Don't make decisions like that without permission."
Oh yeah.
And then also later when the red spiny things are attacking them, I think Mario says, "Whoa, not me. I'm the good guy." Breaking the fourth wall there, but yeah, and then they move on. Then we move on.
Yeah, so the spiny shells hatch, and then it's kind of it's basically like a spiky Koopa. Yeah, they're just called spinies.
And then Mario, he apparently doesn't know how to drive a cloud. He tries driving that cloud like it's a car or something. And he ends up making
and so he causes it to rain, then tornado, then sunlight, and then snow.
It starts snowing on Luigi, the dog, and the spines, and
then it puts all the spinies to sleep.
And Toadette falls out of a cloud.
Oh yeah.
This is so fucking random. I swear, like now that I'm actually like recounting some of this is so random. And she gives them the flower, which makes them shoot fire, of course. And then she kisses Mario, because, okay, why not? And they walk as the soundtrack plays again.
Who'd have guessed?
And Mario's throwing fireballs at enemies, while Luigi is digging and finding gold coins. Because, again, he's a greedy bastard.
And so they end up getting drawn into a nearby cave that has a trail of gold coins left behind by the Goombas. Wait.
Also, another thing I want to put: they find like ice cream in the blocks that have their faces on them.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
And I was wondering, like, is that product placement? Like, is
it
that
probably
another
was
instance of product placement, like Mario ice cream? But they find a cave with a trail of gold coins, and they realize that it's a gold mine.
Which makes Luigi very happy.
Of course, yep. Greedy bastard. But they get trapped because a boulder ends up blocking the exit, and it turns out this is Koopa's gold mine.
And so the Goombas have trapped Mario and Luigi there so they can't stop the wedding.
Yeah, because the wedding is later that night. On Friday the 13th. I find it hilarious that they actually specified that.
It's such a random detail to add, I feel.
You're shit out of luck, I guess is what they mean by me. But yeah.
The Goombas end up having a hammer bro guard the entrance to the jail cell.
And Mario is sad because he can't get Princess Peach, while Luigi is ecstatic because of all the gold.
And then we get like a weird like dream sequence with Mario marrying Princess Peach, and they dance. And I kind of love it when this scene ends because Luigi just digs through the floor. He's already found the way to get out, and he tries to tell Mario, and Mario's like, "Shut up, let me have this."
Yeah, he ends up like kissing the Hammer brother, thinking it's Peach.
Yeah.
But before that, there was a scene with Peach
Oh yeah.
in the castle with Bowser. She wants Bowser to change costumes to amuse her, and I don't know what the fuck these costumes were.
There's some sort of like Japanese reference that I do not
I
understand.
didn't know what they were, but one of them was a teddy bear, and she like traps Bowser in a treasure chest.
Which doesn't really work.
No, it doesn't. He ends up escaping, and then Bowser ends up telling her they captured Mario, and of course she's crying.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Mario and Luigi, they end up escaping because of the hole that Luigi dug while looking for gold. That's convenient.
And one scene that I love is they break out, by going through the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then Luigi has the giant bag of gold coins. And they end up having to turn around to run away from the Hammer Bro. And what Luigi does is he just smashes through the front gate of the jail cell. No problem.
And another thing is that Luigi ends up crying because his gold turned into rocks, and he says, "Damn, this sucks."
He does.
Luigi says "damn" in this movie.
There's officially a Mario or a Mario associated product that says the word "damn."
Are there swear words in the live action movie? I can't remember.
There probably was.
Go to hell, Luigi. Something like that. I don't know. Or fuck you, Luigi. Probably not that, because it was a PG movie, but and he dumps the rocks into the water, and Mario follows them down to find the star. And this was a weird scene. Where they're underwater and they get attacked by some fish.
Oh yeah.
And they end up there's this clam that has the star in it. And to get it to open, Mario pretends to be a ballerina while the dog plays a red guitar.
It was such a weird scene.
That scene, yeah, that was one of the funniest scenes for me. It was just so random and because how does this dog know how to play guitar for one thing?
Another thing I'd like to mention is at one point Mario is gasping, breathing in and out really fast while underwater.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't happen. And they escape on a pirate ship while squids attack them. It's a flying pirate ship, too.
Yeah, this is actually something else I'd like to mention. So in Super Mario Bros. 3, which came out in 1988, so 2 years after this, they started having airships included in levels where it's a flying pirate ship that the Koopa kids fly. And so that's like another thing that's in this movie before it's in any of the other games.
It's a flying pirate ship, why don't we? They're gonna go off to Neverland and they stole the ship from Captain Hook or something. The Mario and the dog. The dog doesn't really do much in this, does he?
Not really. The most active role he plays is playing the guitar.
Yeah. But either way, Mario and the dog, they rescue Luigi off of an island, which I guess means everything flooded.
Apparently, yeah, he was on top of a cliff
just a moment ago. Where did everything go? This is nonsense. It just doesn't make any sense. They fly into the stars as the soundtrack plays. So Mario finally has the star. He finally has the Triforce.
He has the entire Triforce.
The Triforce. They fly by Koopa's castle, and Mario notices that the moon is like a crescent moon. And he says, I thought they were supposed to be married on a full moon. And then, like clockwork, the moon just changes from crescent to full.
That was another one of those jokes that got me when I watched it. That was a good one.
It was actually pretty funny. I was surprised, actually. And This is a weird marriage ceremony. So they have a choir of Koopas shouting songs.
Oh, that choir was like my favorite part of the scene. It's like three Koopas just screaming
Like, what the fuck? Like,
and like not together at all. They're not really carrying any sort of tune. They're just kind of yelling.
and they're also burning a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
And then when the
Peach
marriage
shows
ceremony
up.
begins,
And Bowser's father is officiating the marriage with maracas.
he's credited as the Koopa priest.
But they say in the subtitles he's Bowser's father. I swear that's what they say. Or maybe they mean like father as in priest, who knows.
Yeah, I think that's what they mean.
But that would I I thought he was actually Bowser's father. Which is that does Bowser have a father in the games or
I don't think they ever talk about that.
but yeah, the wedding ceremony is going on, Marriage. Marriage is what brings us here together today. Had to include that reference in there. But then Mario shows up.
Oh, real quick. I'm just looking through the filmography of the guy that did the voice of the Koopa priest.
Okay.
Apparently, he was part of the dub for the live-action Masters of the Universe movie.
Really? The Japanese version?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in the Japanese dub of Masters of the Universe.
Which character?
Gwildor.
Which one was that like Billy Barty's character?
Yeah.
Oh man, we can't stop referencing Masters of the Universe in these. There's always some kind of connection to that movie in one of these. But yeah, Mario crashes the ship on top of Koopa's castle, which causes Koopa to move the ceremony to a sealed room. And by Koopa, we mean Bowser, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was one part where it actually kind of resembled one of the games.
Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting scene. It goes like into a side-scrolling view where you see Mario and the dog like dodging a fire bar, trying to get through, while Luigi digs through the ground trying to find more coins.
Of course. There's lava. Some Goombas show up and mock him while fireballs fly everywhere. And while Luigi is looking for the gold, he ends up accidentally finding some water.
And floods like the entire lower level of the palace.
He ends up putting out the fire with all this water, which would make sense if they were plumbers in this, but they're not.
They're grocery store clerks.
Grocery store clerks. And rocks are like falling. Meanwhile, Koopa gives Peach a ring that is way too big, which makes her sad, and the castle is collapsing.
And
Mario uses the Triforce.
well, he almost does.
And also some Mario ramen sprinkles.
To put on his rice for the flavor.
So again, more product placement.
It's all brilliant product placement.
And you mentioned he's like Popeye, but I guess Mario, with him, it's his rice and his ramen sprinkles that give him power.
Yeah.
With all this product placement, I'm half expecting Mario the lunchbox or Mario the breakfast cereal.
They spend very little time trying to sell the Mario video game, which I find interesting.
Or the best one, Mario the flamethrower. I'm half expecting all these to be featured. Yeah. And Luigi, he finds Mario's star, which he dropped. You get another instance of him saying, damn you, He says, damn again. He says, damn you, Mario.
And then the movie proceeds to end very quickly.
Yeah.
Because Mario basically, he consumes the Triforce, launches Koopa into the stratosphere.
Basically just throws him up into the sky.
Yeah. And then that's basically it for the fight.
Yeah, what a climactic
The fight's just
battle.
done.
And then, was it Peach that says, Mario, you really are a wonderful hero?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, Peach is saved, and then she's like, "There's my betrothed will have a necklace that is the exact same as my necklace."
Which, of course, is a reference to the twin necklace from earlier, the emerald.
Yeah.
And also,
And so,
because of all this, the Mushroom Kingdom goes back to looking normal.
yeah,
All colorful and nice, because it looked really like...
it was kind of like dark,
Looked like
really
Mordor.
kind of hilly. Yeah.
Basically. Have to fit in another Lord of the Rings reference, because of Gandalf the White. But yeah, Mario gives Peach the emerald, of course, and
Yep.
this was a twist I wasn't expecting. The dog turns into a human being with green hair.
Not just a
named
human
Prince
being.
Haru. Apparently, Koopa turned him into a dog, which means that Peach's real fiance is some random anime guy that, as far as I know, we've never heard of.
Nope. He just completely appeared out of nowhere for this twist ending.
And this caused Mario to faint.
Yeah. And Peach reveals that that's who she's marrying.
Will you quit rubbing against my computer, Charlie? My cat's like rubbing against my computer right now.
Yeah, I know my cat does that every now and again.
It's not even time to feed you yet, Jesus. But yeah, so okay, what just happened? Mario just so what? Like I said, this is not a twist I was expecting. I don't know about you.
No, it comes out of nowhere.
It does, yeah. The dog just apparently was a human being the whole time, and he was helping them on their quest, because, okay.
And so we get one final scene of
fireworks,
yeah.
And then as Mario's leaving, he says to them, if some villains came back, we'll rescue you again. Maybe we'll have some parties as well. And Luigi does a really stupid laugh. Gandalf the White shows up after they leave, says their names will go down in history. He calls him the mark of the hero, Mario.
Yeah, the mark of the hero, Mario.
And that's basically it.
Yep, we get our final scene of Mario and Luigi walking to the soundtrack.
Yeah,
this time
it's
as
the
credits
same
are rolling.
Shot of them walking too.
Yeah,
the background just changes every now and then. Although there is an end credit scene.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I did.
There's an end credit scene back at the grocery store.
The old woman comes back in,
and this time she wants to buy an apple pie.
Yeah,
and what? And apparently Bowser and the Koopas are there this time.
Yeah, they're the ones working the store now, and apparently they have great customer service skills.
Why are they at Mario's store? Like, what is going on?
That is a great question, because when you think about it, Mario and Luigi were heading back to run the store again.
Oh my god. They're just at the store, like, I don't even know why. And then it says game over, and the movie ends.
Again, like I mentioned, really kind of weird pacing, but it is a kid's movie.
It's very fast-paced, yeah, like, there's hardly
They
a
had to
plot
keep
here.
it at like they had to keep it at an hour.
It's mostly just, and then this weird shit happens next. It's probably an overdone joke, but somebody was doing mushrooms when they made this.
But overall, I would say that it's a pretty fun movie.
It's enjoyable, yeah. It's weird, but it's enjoyable. I like the music in it.
Yeah.
And the aesthetic of it is interesting. I was surprised, though, that they actually got some stuff right. Because while I was watching this, I was thinking, some of this feels like the game.
Yeah. It feels like someone looked at the game and wondered, how can I turn this into an hour-long anime?
Instead of what they did with the live-action Mario movie,
where they looked at Mario and went, how can I make this Blade Runner?
How How can I make this Blade Runner? That's an apt description. But yeah, they actually got some stuff right. And then the stuff they got wrong, I was just laughing my ass off at. Like how they work at a grocery store.
Yeah, like you could have just kept them as plumbers. Nothing would have changed. Why did you make them grocery
And
store
the fact
clerks?
Mario is like a greedy gold prospector in this or something. Okay, maybe it's a low bar, but to be fair, this is probably the best Mario adaptation. I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
compare it.
it's a lot better than the 1993 film.
I mean, I enjoy the 1993 film just because of how wrong it is, but like, but obviously this is a much better translation of Mario than that was,
Yeah,
and I definitely think it's better than the Super Mario Brothers Super Show,
100%.
which honestly just is kind of corny and like. But yeah, obviously, I
Yeah,
think this movie's better than the.
a much better
I've
adaptation
never
than.
seen the Mario 3 show, but I I I am. Your description of it kind of makes me curious.
It's basically more of the Super Mario Brothers Super
I
Show, if I'm
figured that's
honest.
what it was.
And so, this anime it's much better adaptation than the cartoon, than the American cartoons.
Yeah, if
A
you have
much better
any,
adaptation than the live action.
if you have any interest in like Mario and you haven't seen it, I would say it's worth a look.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not even like a Mario expert or anything really, but I got some enjoyment out of
yeah.
just the absurdity of stuff. Just I kind of want the soundtrack now.
I know it's a pretty good soundtrack.
They apparently released it on vinyl at one point,
Huh?
which I think is a good transition into the trivia now.
Yeah.
Which okay, so trivia. We got way off track in this one. And you said you couldn't find what Miyamoto thought of this one.
Yeah, I wasn't able to really find anything.
Although we do know what he thought of the live action one.
It was too close to the actual game.
I would like to understand what he means by that, but okay. And we also mentioned this was released the same day as Running Boy, Star Soldier's Secret, making this the first feature-length video game adaptation.
So the actual game is called Star Soldier. I think it's. Oh, I know Star Soldier. Don't know how you'd make that a movie, but it's basically a shoot 'em up game.
Okay. It's only 55 minutes, apparently.
Huh.
We could have done a double feature if we wanted. Although, good luck finding trivia for this one, I guess. There's like nothing on the IMDb page, practically.
Yeah.
All it says under trivia is released the same day as Super Mario Brothers Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach.
Imagine that being your legacy. You came out the same day as a Mario movie.
I mean, like, didn't the Mario movie come out around the same time as Jurassic Park?
Oh, that's right.
The VHS release was distributed by VAP Video sometime after its theatrical release. However, the movie has never been republished since then, not even in newer home video formats such as DVD or Blu-ray, causing the official VHS tapes to become sought-after collector's items, with prices reaching as high as US $600 on auction sites.
Ooh.
Okay, so they mention it hasn't been released on DVD or Blu-ray, but was it released on Laserdisc?
One thing that is actually kind of interesting, though, someone got access to like the original like copy of the film, and there actually is a 4K restoration of this movie out there.
Probably wasn't the version I watched, but
Nope, it wasn't the one I watched. I watched like a direct scan of the VHS movie.
moreover, the movie has never been released internationally,
Yep.
remaining a rare production that has never been released outside Japan or in any language besides Japanese. This is because the company that distributed this film does not operate outside Japan. So, yeah, very hard to find, but. And the voice of Bowser was actually provided by a female Japanese singer named Akiko Wada.
Huh.
Or Wada, I don't know how that's pronounced. But. And this movie was apparently the first time Bowser was shown talking.
Yeah. I mean, there really wasn't that much of a chance for him to talk before.
To advertise the anime, here's some of the tie-in stuff they released. They released Mario phone cards.
Oh.
What are phone what are phone cards?
Phone cards. I have no idea what these are.
What are they? I have to know.
Is it
know. Telephone card? A telephone card is a credit card sized plastic or paper card used to pay for telephone services.
Oh.
So that might be it.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. So it's almost like a train pass, but for using a public telephone.
And apparently they made ones with Mario on them to promote this movie.
I bet those are hard to find nowadays.
I would love for somebody to find some of this stuff.
I know.
Because there's some interesting stuff here. Mario watches.
Okay, I feel like that's pretty common. I used to own a Mario watch.
Mario rice containers. Mario ramen noodles.
Yep, we saw those in the film.
A Mario, is it manga or manga?
Manga.
Okay, a Mario manga. Shows how much of an anime fan I am that I don't know how to pronounce it. A Mario art book. But wait
Okay.
a second. Backtracking. They made a manga of this movie.
Huh. I bet that would be an interesting read.
Probably, yeah. But a Mario art book. Mario riddle books. A picture book of the movie, apparently.
Okay.
And an original soundtrack released on both vinyl and cassette. Now, I would love to have that.
I know that would be such a cool collector's item. But it's also just got an absolute banger of a soundtrack.
Yeah. You can put it on your shelf right next to the Disco Star Wars album or something.
That is a fantastic album.
Supposedly, copies of the game Super Mario Bros. 2 were packaged with the movie when it was released on VHS.
Huh.
Anybody want to confirm or deny this? Leave your comments below. But yeah, apparently the picture book was called Mario's Fantastic World, and it came with a vinyl record.
That's a pretty good deal.
What was on the vinyl record? I don't know. Maybe it was the soundtrack.
I hope it would be the soundtrack.
Maybe it was the dialogue from the movie. Who knows?
the audiobook on vinyl.
And apparently the theatrical screening of this movie was shown alongside a video strategy guide for the game Super Mario Bros. 2.
Really? So they pulled a wizard on us.
I guess.
Did you ever watch The Wizard?
Unfortunately, yes, I have seen
that. The whole thing is just a glorified ad for Mario 3.
Exactly, yeah. And this whiny kid who wants to go to California. Whatever. Isn't that where the quote, I love the Power Glove, it's so bad is from?
The best thing about the Power Glove is that it was in that movie.
I've only seen the AVGN episode, and yeah, it looks like it was a piece of junk. And apparently the video strategy guide movie was called just Super Mario Bros. 2, the complete strategy guide. And it was hosted by Jimmy Kobayashi.
I have no idea who that guy is.
You don't know?
No.
The guy from The Usual Suspects. Kobayashi. Okay, so there's no official English dub of this, but you can find fan dubs.
Yep.
And you said you were going to listen to one of them?
Yeah, I listened to some of it, and it was honestly a little bit painful. Whoever was voicing Mario sounded like they didn't want to wake up their parents.
I think I might have... I didn't really listen to a whole lot of it, but from what I did listen to I think it was the same one.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was just one person doing all the voices. And they weren't very good either, apparently.
No.
We're not gonna name whoever that is, just out of
Yeah.
just in case they might be listening to this. But there was the other Mario anime that they did 2 years after this.
Yep.
I can't remember the name of it though.
It was Amada anime series, Super Mario. And it was basically just putting Mario in the place of a few different fairy tales.
2 of them were Japanese fairy tales, and one of them was Snow White, apparently. Christ, cat, what are you doing? Oh my god. But yeah, I really don't know. I didn't know what to say about the movie while talking about it. I definitely don't now. I mean,
overall, it's a fairly just harmless kids movie, really.
Yeah, basically. I mean, well, except you feel like you're on mushrooms during some of it. I'd go out and buy the soundtrack if I knew where to buy it.
Fantastic soundtrack.
But yeah, it was enjoyable. It was weird. I also felt, for some reason, I don't know why, but I felt like having ice cream and ramen noodles after watching it. I don't know why, but...
I felt like getting some ramen sprinkles for my rice.
Yeah, exactly. Mario ramen sprinkles. Oh god, that's hilarious. I guess remember to do the Mario. I don't know how to end this.
Yeah. Join us next time when we look at the complete polar opposite of this film. Evil Dead.
That's right, yeah. Play the Andy Griffith clip.
Or maybe you should play Do the Mario.
Do Mario. And there we go. And
yeah. Alright, let me... Uh-oh, what button do I hit? Uh-oh.
Good night, you stupid idiot. Good night, you miserable slob.
Let's do the Mario!